My name is Obina. I come from a village called Umueka, not far from Orlu in Imo State. This story happened when I was just 13 years old. I am over 30 now, and I still remember every second of it. They told us the story when we were small, but we thought it was just to scare us. An old folktale. But what happened to me, to my friends, it was real. They said there once lived a princess called Adebi. She was the only daughter of Igwe Ogbuefi, the last king before the white men came. People said Adebi was beautiful, more than any woman their eyes had seen. But her heart was dark. She hated men. Not because she was born that way, but because of what happened to her. They said 5 princes from nearby kingdoms tried to force her into marriage, and when she refused, they attacked her in the night. She escaped, but her body was covered in fire. Some say she cursed herself. Others say she made a deal with spirits in the forest to never die and to punish any man who tried to own her again. Nobody saw Adebi after that. But men who entered the royal palace ruins, especially the throne room, never returned. The elders warned us never to go near the palace at the edge of Oloji forest. They said her spirit still waited there, looking for revenge. We were foolish. It started with my cousin, Chibik. He was always the brave one, or so he thought. He came to me and said we should go to the palace and sleep there one night. Just to prove the story is fake, he said. At first, I said no. But then our friends, Ikena and Uchenna, joined in. They made jokes, called me Ofumodo Enonenwonyi, a mommy's boy. I felt embarrassed. I agreed. We planned it for the next Friday night. We packed food, water, torches, and a mat. Around 6 p.m., we left the village quietly and walked toward the forest. The path was overgrown. Nobody had used it in years. As we walked deeper, I started feeling cold, even though it was dry season. The palace ruins looked worse than I imagined. The walls were broken. The roof was gone. The place smelled like wet charcoal and dust. We laughed at first, trying to act brave. Ikene took pictures on his old phone. We lit a small fire and sat close together. At around 10 p.m., things changed. The fire went out suddenly. No wind. No sound. Just darkness. Then we heard something, slow footsteps on dry leaves. It wasn't an animal. It was barefoot. Then we heard a woman singing. Very softly. I told them no. I told them no, now they burn, slow, slow. Ikena stood up. Who's there? He shouted. No answer. The singing stopped. Then we saw her. She walked out from behind a wall, tall and slow. Her dress dragged on the ground. It looked like it was on fire, but the fire didn't spread. Her hair was long and floating in the air. But it was her face that froze me. Half of it was beautiful, like a queen. The other half looked like melting candle wax, skin black and red, one eye hanging low. She looked at us and smiled. I wanted to run, but my legs refused to move. She said one thing. Only the dead can love me. Then she pointed at Ikena. His body went stiff. He screamed and fell. His hand was on fire. But the fire was quiet. Cold. There was no smoke. Just blue flames eating his skin like paper. We tried to put it out. We poured water. Nothing worked. He stopped screaming after a while. He stopped breathing. The princess turned to Chibik. He shouted, "Please. We didn't mean to offend you, Baiko." But she only smiled and whispered something in a language I didn't understand. Then his chest opened up. Like something inside was pulling out his heart without touching him. There was no blood. Just heat and that smell, like roasted meat. Chibik fell. Just like that. I grabbed Uchenna. We ran. We didn't look back. We didn't talk. We didn't stop until we got back to the village. Uchenna never spoke again after that day. His parents took him to prayer houses, hospitals, even native doctors. nothing worked. He just sat and stared into the air. He died 2 years later in his sleep. I tried to tell my parents. They called me a liar. I told the elders. They looked at each other and said, so it has started again. They told me the truth. Every 30 years, Adebi's spirit wakes and takes the blood of 4 boys. Boys who step into the palace during her moon cycle. That year, I was supposed to be one of them. But I ran. I left Umuaka a year later and moved to Enugu. It's been 18 years now. But sometimes, when I sleep, I hear her voice again. I told them no. And sometimes, when I wake up, my bedsheet smells like smoke. I don't know why she let me go. But I know she's still waiting. And next time, she may not. If you're ever in Umuaka, and someone shows you the old trail into the Oloji forest, turn back. I'm begging you.